Here's our shortcut, okay? It's basically like what we did last class extended. When we factor a trinomial, we are undoing FOIL, which we also know is distributing. We're basically doing the opposite of that by factoring. So when the leading coefficient is 1, there is a great shortcut to factor. That part is important. The trick is to look for two numbers that multiply to get the last number and add to get the middle number. This shortcut only works if there is a 1 in front of your x squared. And you always look for GCF first. Okay? So let's do the first one like we know. Okay, this is going to be like a refresher. So first I look for a GCF. I do not have one, okay, because there's nothing in common between 1, 6, and 8. So I get right into my AM method. And I need two numbers that multiply to give me 8 and add to give me 6. What are my options here?
1 and 8.
1 and 8, and what else? And 2 and 4. 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. All right, which one will work to add up to give me 6? 2 and 4. Side note, if you lose or if you don't have your factor sheet handy, or like on your, like on a maybe test or something, pay attention. You can do this in your calculator. Okay? In your calculator, I want you to go to y equals. And I want you to type in the number that we need to multiply to get. Which number is that? 8. So I'm going to type in 8 divided by x. It's always going to be the number that we multiply to get divided by x. And then I want you to hit second graph to bring up your table. This table is showing you everything that we can multiply together to get 8. So we see how we have 1 and 8. We also have 2 and 4. We also have 4 and 2 and 8 and 1. Ignore all the decimals. You don't need those. So you can look at this and say, well, which one of these can I add to give me 6? 2 and 4. Right? Okay. So there's a little trick. Very helpful. I still use that even when making your keys and stuff. Okay. So we learned to bring down our first. And we bring down our last. Jordan, what goes in the middle? Yep, so I'm going to plug in 2x and positive 4x. Yep, the 8 comes out too. Alright, once we have 4, Isaac, what do I do?
You split.
You split it. Split it down the middle. So on my left side, what's my GCF?
X.
It's just x.
X.
Alright, and I divide, so I get x plus 2. On the right side, what's my GCF?
4.
4. So I get x plus 2. Do I have matching parentheses?
Yes.
Yes, I know I'm doing it right so far. So my answer is x plus 2. And my GCFs also become a factor, x plus 4. Okay? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Alright, now for the fun part. So I love how angry you guys get when you see the shortcut. Sadly. Alright? I don't want you to write this down, just watch me. Number 1 is the same problem that we just did. Okay? Here's your shortcut. We already talked about how there's no GCF, right? I get right into my AM mode. All to the side, I do the same thing. Two numbers that multiply to give me 8 and add to give me 6. You said my multiples were going to be what? 2 and 4. Alright, so we said it was 2 and 4, right? Once we have our factors, we have our answer. We plug this right in. X equals positive 2, x equals positive 4. Do we see how that is the same answer as this?
What?
Just minus all the work, yes. I know, I'm evil. Okay? The reason why we have to teach you guys the long way first is because the shortcut does not always work. It works most of the time, but not always. Okay? I'll tell you when it doesn't work. It does not work when we have a binomial, which is just 2, and it does not work if we have, we have to swing. That's also doesn't work. Everything else, you can do that. Save yourself some time. Easy peasy. Let's try number 2. Alright, I don't have a GCF, so I get right into my AM mode. I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me 6 and add to give me 5. My options are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. Which one do we need? 2 and 3, so I plug those into my factors. X plus positive, or x to positive 2, and x plus 3. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I have a bad habit of always putting x, and I don't know why this worksheet kind of switched it up a little bit. I mean, we can use whatever letters we want, but I'm so used to putting x. Let's look at number 3.
Easy.
I know. I don't have a GCF. I get right into my AM mode. I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me 15 and add to give me negative 8. So I could have 1 and 15, 3 and 5, okay? But something needs to be negative, right? Well, that would give me negative 2, so they both need to be negative, right? If they're both negative, I get a positive 15 if I multiply, I get a negative 8 if I add. Here's my answer. So Jordan, what's my factors going to be?
Alright, so x equals, plus.
Where do you see plus?
Or minus.
X minus 3.
I thought you were doing like plus, like minus. X minus.
Oh, no. And then what's the next one?
Alright, so x minus 1.
Yep. Alright, we're going to skip ahead. I want you guys to work on some of these on your own, but hold on. I know. Let's look at number 10. Okay? There is also a shortcut to number 10 that I'm not going to teach you right now. I'll teach you next class. But for now, when you see a binomial like that, when it starts with 1, go ahead and rewrite it as y squared plus 0y minus 36. Okay, we're basically just rewriting it. We just put a placeholder in there as 0. So once again, I'm going to make my T-chart. I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 36 and add to give me 0. Let me read my board. So it's going to be 6 and 6. There we go. Alright, my factor is going to be negative 6, positive 6. So I have y minus 6, y plus 6. Okay? I'm going to do one more example with you. Yep. Look at number 13. So I'm always asking myself, so if you wanted to swing this, then you could, but you would just have large numbers. Okay? So always look for your GCF. What's my GCF here? 2. So if I rewrite, I have x squared minus x. Oh wait, minus 12. Negative 24 divided by 2. It's negative 12. So I'm going to try to factor what's highlighted. Okay? Off to the side, I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me what?
12.
What kind of 12? negative 12, and add to give me,
0. X.
what's in front of the x?
Negative X.
Negative 1, right?
Negative 1.
We always take the number. So I can have 1 and 12, but I'll never get 1 with that, negative 1. 2 and 6, 3 and 4, right? That's the best option. Something needs to be negative. Which one, the 3 or the 4?
The 3. The 4.
The 4. If the 3, if you do negative 3 plus 4, you get positive 1. We need negative 1. All right, so what are my factors here? Huh? What's my factors?
Alright, so X plus 3. Then X minus 4.
And what happens to my GCF? We just bring it down.
Outside.
Yep, we just bring it down. Okay? I want you guys, I think there's only one answer that's prime, I think.
Yeah, so
There's 2 answers that are prime. Alright, you guys take 10 minutes. Alright, so number 4, we don't have a GCF. We need 2 numbers to multiply to give me 9 and add to give me negative 10. You guys choose, both were negative, right? So my answer is y minus 9, y minus 1. Remember, you can also flip those. I don't care if the y minus 1 comes first. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay. Number 5. 2 numbers that multiply to give me 56 and add to give me negative 1. What gets my negative? Huh? So if the 7 gets a negative, that gives me a positive 1 if I add it, but that gives me a negative 56. If I flip it, that gives me a negative 1, but I don't have, I still get negative 56 if I multiply it. If I do both, that doesn't work. So this answer is what? Prime. You guys get this?
No, I thought.
Huh? What answer did you get? Yes, if you do plus 7, it gives you negative 1 if you add it, but it does not give you positive 56. It gives you negative 56. All right, number 6. 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 24 and add to give me 2. 12 and 2, nope. 8 and 3, nope. What do you guys choose for this one? Oh, 4 and 6. And what gets my negative? The 4, right?
Yeah.
oh,
So did you guys
So-
get y minus 4?
did X instead of Y.
You did what?
X instead, yeah, I did X instead of Y.
That's fine. I honestly would probably not even know this on your test. Because I do the same thing all the time.
It wouldn't matter.
Hmm?
It wouldn't matter.
Okay. Alright, number 7. I don't have a GCF. I'm always asking myself that first. 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 10 and add to give me 3. Let's get 5 and 2. What gets the negative?
The 2.
The 2 gets the negative. Good. So we have x plus 5, x minus 2. Board is so jumpy. What do you guys get for number 8?
Y plus 2, y minus 10.
Y plus 2, y
Minus 10.
minus 10. Yep, I like it. Alright, number 9, x squared minus 5x minus 14.
X minus 7, x plus 2.
Good job, Isaac. Yep, that looks good. Everyone get this one?
Yeah.
Alright, nice. You guys are getting this stuff, right?
And I got it to you the way around. I did X plus 2.
Oh, that's fine. Tomato, tomato. So everyone's getting this so far?
Yeah.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Alright, number 11. X squared plus 0x.
Did you do 10 yet?
We did 10 together,
Oh,
right? Alright, so what'd you guys get for this one?
x minus 3, x plus 3. And then the next one is
Hold on. Let me get there. The next one is what?
prime.
Good job. Did you guys all get this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't even have to do it. I just
Look at your eyes, see who's telling the truth. Jeffrey, I don't know about you. Did you get this right?
Yeah, I just remember prom. I don't want to do them. So I thought it was prom.
Good job. Oh, I like this. I like it a lot. a lot.
You
You guys seen Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
You sound British when you say
I
that.
sound British. So there's this, I'll show you guys at the end of this. There's this in Dumb and Dumber. There's a part. I think you said I'm laughing. You guys know who Lloyd is, like one of the main characters. It's like his like running thing of like I like it a lot. I'll show it to you after our mini quiz.
From the first one?
I'll only show it to you guys if you get number 14 right. What did you guys get for this?
Alright.
Please tell me you took the GCF first, right? Okay, so your GCF is what?
GCF is 2, yeah, 3.
2,
No,
3. There we go. So to take out my GCF, I don't have a y. I have y squared minus 10y plus, what's that, 16?
Yeah.
Alright. So I want, let's see here, my factor of my two table, two numbers that multiply to give me 16 and adds to give me negative 10.
2.
8 and 2, both negative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
So my answer is y minus 8, y minus 2. You guys get this?
Okay.
Alright, perfect. We're watching Floyd in a second. Alright, so then we have, what, 2 more? Alright. GCF is negative 3x. And if I divide, I get x squared minus 10x plus 25. What do you guys get when you factored this?
I didn't
negative 3x.
We need two numbers that multiply to give me 25 and add to give me negative 10. 5 and 5,
5, yeah.
both are negative, right?
Yeah.
So x minus 5, x minus 5. Okay? Last one, my GCF is negative 5y. Score gets so off. Don't forget if it starts with a negative, to take it out. So we're left with y squared plus 5y plus 6. I need to factor what's in the middle. So I need two numbers that multiply to give me 6 and add to give me 5. So 2 and 3. Right? Yep. So negative 5y, we have y plus 2, y plus 2. Alright, now give you your mini quiz. On your mini quiz, I want you guys to think about this. You guys get this answer? I'll move it a little quick. Negative 5y, y plus 2, y plus 3. Alright, so here, on your mini quiz, once you're done, like let's say we have 5x squared plus 25. Okay? Every single one of my classes are putting in the placeholder. We don't have to do that. Okay? You do not have to do that. If you were to do that, you need to swing it and do the long one, the grouping. What's the GCF of this?
5.
So I bring out my 5, and I have x squared plus 5. There's nothing else I can do with that. Just leave it like that, okay?
Alright.
That's my answer. It doesn't mean you have to write prime. That's just all I have. On your mini quiz, you can also use the shortcut if you want to. And remember to always take out your GCF.